Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joanne Lingerie, and you've just tuned in to Matured Musicians. I have the lovely, talented singer, songwriter, musician, Jessica. I will call her Jess. Is that okay, Jess?
Jess, go with the flow.
Jess,
That's my name.
with me today. I do want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Luscious Moss Studio, owned and operated by Chad Christ. He's located in Edgewood, Washington, which is right next to Milton. So if you know where Milton is, you're close. He has a very creative and comfortable setting that inspires creativity in his studio. I do my productions. Started out, he was only doing drummers and guitarists and producing their work, and now he's open to the public more or less. So if you have any needs in that direction, he's a good man to contact, and you can find him on Facebook, or you can find him either under Luscious Moss Studio or Chad Chris. So good luck, and do contact him. With that being said, Jess, how are you today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Well, yeah, I stayed up too late last night and had too much fun. you know,
Sounds like a good night.
So tell us about how you got into all of this. And I mean, I know the story, but a lot of people don't read bios. Some of them do. But I'd in your own words, your influences, your first instruments, etc., and bring us up to where we are today.
Mm-hmm. Well, it all started probably when I was around 7 years old. My dad was a huge Southern rock fan, big
I like your dad already.
listening to music, Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker Band, Allman Brothers Band, and me as a 7-year-old, I wanted to be the next Jethro Tull. And for some reason, this was my greatest inspiration, my greatest goal in life as a 7-year-old. So I looked forward greatly to 5th grade, because 5th grade is when I would be able to join band class and be able to play the flute. So until then, going all through elementary school, my mom had a piano. She studied music school herself in Ukraine, and she studied as a pianist. So I would plunk around on that, and she signed me up for lessons because I was so self-motivated and disciplined to want to play. And she bought me all these books, and I would practice myself. But finally 5th grade arrives, and I pick up my flute, and I'm so excited. I spent hours and hours trying to play a note. It took me like 2 months to even make a sound on the thing, and it was so discouraging, but I stuck with it for a couple of years. But I was pretty bad at it. So I switched to playing the saxophone. So it's kind of a similar kind of sound, but completely different way to play. I was at least able to make a note. I squawked like a goose, but eventually I made some nice sounds. I played all throughout school, up all the way into university, in band, jazz band, pep band. I even joined a video game symphony orchestra in university. And I would play at the local community theaters. I would be in the pit with all the other bandmates. But in my spare time, I'm a big video game nerd. So I would play, yeah. So I would play games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band with my sisters. And I was the only one who could play the drums. That was the hardest instrument of all of them. So naturally, that's what I played. And it was playing this plastic drum kit where I really fell in love with rhythm. I was feeling the beat. I was getting lost in the flow of music. I was really finding my flow and just getting lost in it. And I loved it so much. I actually, I told one of the musicians who was doing the community theater, he was the drum guy. And I was telling him, I was like a junior in high school. I was like, I really want to play the drums. I'm really into it. I love the beats. I love the rhythm. And he was like, don't do it. Don't be a drummer. And discouraged. I was like,
Oh.
why not? Okay, well, forget that. I'm not gonna listen to that old timer. I'm just gonna go and do it. So it was senior year of high school where I dropped the wind instruments completely, and I still played sax now and then, but I had a favor for the drums, and so I played the jazz band. I actually led the jazz band that senior year of high school. I was the captain of the inaugural drum line of our school. We never had it before, a drum line. And I started out on cymbals because I've never played the drums, but I'm so enthusiastic and showboating and I'm so flashy that it was perfect role for me. But I didn't get to really show off my chops as much. So I became a snare captain, doing a marching band, pep band, did the JROTC parade events. That's the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, a little high school army kind of thing. But I've always been into music and I've always been into playing music on instruments, but I didn't really take singing as seriously until I turned 21 and discovered karaoke bars, probably.
Yeah.
It's at that point when I realized this is my favorite instrument. I can take it around with me everywhere I go. It's so easily accessible, and it is so emotionally resonant as a human being. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been singing since I was a kid. My favorite movie was Phantom of the Opera, and
Opera.
being yes, and being the oldest of four sisters, I would lead us gaggle of girls in all kinds of shenanigans, including putting together our own performance of Phantom of the Opera.
Mhm.
But the virtuoso that I was, and as the casting director and director really of all operations, I had given myself the roles of Christine, the main star, of course, as well as the Phantom of the Opera. So playing that main song was pretty interesting. But my sisters went along with it. We had a blast, and just as a kid, every birthday party, my party trick was to sing operatically. This was kind of my, like, you don't expect a kid to have this kind of like big belting. You don't expect this from a little kid, and I'm a small person, so you don't expect this. So every happy birthday song, I would bust out the opera, but it was very silly. I was the class clown. I didn't take myself very seriously. I didn't take my singing very seriously. Yes, I was a musician. I loved to play music, but the singing, that's just a party gag. That's just something silly I do. I would sing Disney karaoke with my sisters on road trips, at slumber parties, on the swings at the playgrounds, and I aspired to be a Disney princess, but all Disney princesses have really high pitched soprano type voices.
Really?
And myself, I am naturally, my voice most comfortably sits in the contralto voice range. This is the lowest of female voice ranges. And so I'm wondering, like, where my lower tone princesses at? Because I think we need more representation. So this is still my goal to be a Disney princess, but I would like to represent us girls who have lower voices, still equally as regal and majestic and beautiful, just not at highest pitch.
Right.
I would
You know,
sing.
I made that just I'm
Mhm.
interrupt you here, but I made that decision too. I noticed that with it earlier, like 20 years ago, when I started, actually it's about 21 now, but um, when I was doing it with a band, I realized that some of that equipment really made the higher tones sound tinny and screechy.
Mhm.
Whoops. What the heck is that? I don't like you. I don't know if you can see this, but I just got a pop up screen here that blocked you out and me out. And there
Yeah,
we go.
looks
Oh,
great here.
geez. Electronics. So I also like the contralto, and I
Mhm.
also um, find that the girls that sing higher, that's great, but you need a range, and you have a range. You go from
Mm.
contralto to soprano very easily.
Yes. Now I can. When I first started out in high school, I mean, we would sing Disney's Tarzan, Strangers Like Me, singing along with Phil Collins. But after he hits that key change, I couldn't keep up with Phil. It was too high for me at the time. But while I had the passion, I had the expression, I did not have a God's gifted voice. I didn't always have this range. I earned my voice. I just love to sing. It's my favorite form of expression. It's my favorite instrument to play. I love it. And so it was just through sheer force of will that I obtained the range I did, just by slowly getting more and more of a range.
So, did
In
you ever take any formal training, operatic training?
I always wanted to. I always wanted to have voice lessons. I always wanted to have a more technical training, but I didn't prioritize it. I was always encouraged to study fields that would be more secure in having a financial stability. I went to university with a bachelor's of science with veterinary science and linguistics, but my senior year, though, I did have some free credits. And I was like, you know what? I have enough credits. I'm just going to join opera theater. So I had
Ah,
one semester of opera theater. And I was very out of place. I was surrounded by music majors, future opera stars, and music educators. And I was a science geek. So it was a little out of place, but it was the place I wanted to be. And I was so excited to have that. I also was able to have a credit in vocal coaching. I had
oh,
one credit in vocal class. So I would learn a little bit, just a taste of that formal training. But I'm mostly built on intuition. Now, I studied music, so I know a little theory
right.
based on the instruments I learned throughout my schooling. But for voice, that's intuition. That's just using my ear and noodling around with
You
my
got
vocal
good
folds.
ears, Jess. You got good ears.
Thank you. I've been
Yeah.
listening to music my whole life.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
I heard your operatic voice, and I've heard you sing like that, and it's just amazing. And so, what do you think is your highest note that you hit? Are you hitting high C yet?
Oh, all right. So I I would like to say I don't know what note it is. Um I have it written down whenever I'm trying to say my like full belly voice is up to like no, I think I have C6, even like falsetto head voice. But I have been practicing whistle tones since I have figured out which one, because my song that I have performed for you and is on my YouTube as well is this French ballad, the SOS. I hit those whistle tones. And I actually don't know what is the highest note on that song, but it's high.
It is indeed,
Yeah. So
indeed.
I'm with that song, I'm starting to now try to feel these whistle tones and this whistle register. So I started that about last year. I'm not very
Okay,
serious with
I
it.
have no clue what a whistle register is. Would you like to explain that to me?
It's like it's what those really high notes is somewhere in here and just like really high. It's like squawking, squeaking out. And again, I am not classically trained. I am not technically trained. I couldn't tell you the proper terminology for this, but it's just these squeaky whistle notes. But
Right.
it's the whistle range after like a falsetto, even
Okay.
higher.
Okay.
Um,
Got it. All right. I
yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah, and I'd never even thought I could attempt this until I was practicing this song, SOS. I originally practiced for a music competition. It was YouTube's Next Top Singer, and I participated in that last summer. I and that one got me up. That song got me to the semi-finals,
Wow.
and that's where I remained. That's as far as I got, but it was such an incredible experience, really pushing my range, really pushing on my performance and giving it my all. So it was a lot of growth during the summer participating in this competition.
Yeah.
I am very extrinsically motivated. I think I'm taught that through schooling. You have homework, you have exams. So a lot of my motivation is more extrinsic. So otherwise, I'm really good at procrastinating. I'm
Okay,
really good
stop,
at
stop, stop. That's a $5 word. Extrinsic.
Ah!
What is extrinsic?
Oh, so I would say intrinsic is coming from within.
Mhm.
Extrinsic is coming from the outside environment.
Okay.
So outside influences. And a really big outside influence for my growth and progress of singing has been joining this online music community. I joined actually the winter 2020 of COVID, this online music community called Game of Bands. And it's a songwriting competition where a vocalist, a lyricist, and a musician are all matched up. And we
Wow.
have 2 weeks to make a song. And it really puts the pressure on because 2 weeks is not a lot of time, especially after figuring out music and lyrics taking so long. And vocals is usually the last thought of the song, although it is the piece that ties it all together. So I would really be on these crunches, but I would be extrinsically motivated. I would have this motivation from my teammates, from this music community, and I would be put under pressure to make music. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be this inspirational. It doesn't have to be something extraordinarily unique or new or innovative. It's just you got to do something. You got to produce something. And that really helps with this perfectionist in me who just wants to hold everything back and oh, it's not perfect. I am my biggest critic. um but it's a really great motivator. So even to this day, I've been in this community for 4 years now, and it's actually the listening party is happening as we are interviewing. So I'll have to listen to everyone's latest tracks afterwards. But
Cool.
it's a really great community if you want to make some noise with musicians worldwide. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
we've made songs. I've worked with musicians from, Canada, from the UK, from Russia, Hong Kong, Buenos Aires, like all over the world,
Yeah, yeah.
France,
Stop. Stop, stop,
and
stop,
eh?
stop, stop, stop. France.
Eh?
You sing French. I've heard you do it. Is
Mhm.
that because of this, or is
Ah, I studied linguistics in university. I love languages. So I've actually studied French since middle school. That was the language. You could offer French or Spanish. And I guess Spanish was more close to home. It was less exotic for me. So I chose French. And so I have studied French all throughout my education. And I have friends in France as well. And it's actually my favorite musical is French. It's Notre Dame de Paris, the story of Notre Dame, of Quasimodo and Esmeralda. And I discovered that in high school, and I really fell in love with this musical. It's my absolute favorite. So it really helps with understanding or using the phonetics of the language using song. So it was a really cool technique my high school teacher would use to learn language through song. And this really resonated with me as a musician, to hear the language and to capture the language, to understand the language through this way of learning.
I have another comment. I see. Is that a ukulele up there? Because we haven't discussed
Hi.
that.
This is a ukulele. This is a kala. Oh no, makala, which I think is kala actually. It's a shark ukulele. I have a U bass here as well.
Here, let me. I'm gonna. You show us what you got there, and I'm gonna get his post.
This is my home studio here, by the way. Underneath this curtain right here is my vocal booth, my glorified blanket fort. This is where I like to record my vocals in the studio. But right here, I have my space. I have my U bass, which is tuned like a regular bass, but it's ukulele inspired. And this is a nice little beach ukulele. I used to bring my here, I'll show you. This is my nice ukulele. This is my pride and joy Luna brand. I named it Lovegood. Is Luna Lovegood? But it plays so nice. But I would bring this to the beach with me. I would bring this everywhere with me, and it's too nice for this. I wanted to have a nice beach ukulele, so I bring this one if I'm just plunking around on the sand. So it's nice to
Oh,
have the
thank
both.
you for showing us that. She hasn't mentioned that she plays the ukulele, and she plays that ukulele like it's an extension of herself. I'm going to say that.
Ah,
And it's unusual to see that. I mean, all these guitar players and different kinds of instruments that are being brought to the jams just came up with a ukulele and started singing songs of today on that ukulele at a jam. And I'm like, holy cow, that girl knows what she's doing. So yeah, I think it's very unique that you've chosen that instrument. And how did that
mhm,
happen? Of all the things that you were telling me, that you were doing, especially drums. And I have a theory about that. I believe people
mhm.
who play drums have the better timing and they have the best songs because they've already got that part down. It's part of them. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, there was a question there.
Yeah, the ukulele is my newest instrument, and it's my favorite to play with my voice. After I graduated university, my roommate had left, and she abandoned most of her things. I got a lot of cute outfits out of it, but she also left behind an ukulele.
Ah,
And well, I had a lot of free time. I was looking for a job, so I decided to plunk around with it, and I realized, hey, this is really it's kind of like a karaoke machine. This is kind of perfect for the space for a voice to sing
yeah,
alongside with it.
yeah.
And so I would start learning songs. Riptide by Vance Joy. This is my first song I ever learned. And it was just so much fun. It was such a fun, I mean, it is such a fun, feel good,
Yes.
cheerful instrument. It's really nice, really relaxing the vibes.
I'm going to show
And
you
I think
something.
it,
Let's see
huh?
if I can get it on here. I don't think I can. Let's see. Uh,
Oh,
no, I can't. Um, trying to get my ukulele. I got a baritone ukulele, but
I've
it's
never played the
but
berry.
it's not electric. So I haven't taken it anywhere simply because you can't hear it, and I don't want it mic'd up. But I think you had yours mic'd up somewhere where you played. I remember that,
Mhm.
didn't you? Yeah.
I have had it mic'd up before, but it's got a nice pickup,
Oh,
this
okay. It
ukulele
does. All
here.
right. I didn't know if
Yeah.
it's electric or not.
Yeah, it has a pickup inside, and I have great compliments from the audio engineers that it comes in clear. So I like that.
Yes,
I've had it
absolutely.
repaired several times because I love to after I will perform something, and I'll flip it around and stuff, but which I can do, but if I'm connected to a cord, I can't flip it around. I'm slowly unwinding the pickup. So slowly but surely I was wrecking havoc on it, but it's all fixed up now.
All right.
That's why when I do silly
Cool.
things, I usually bust out this one. I don't feel as bad riffing it apart.
So you have a new song coming out, correct?
Mhm. Yeah,
Ah,
been working on a song. It's alt rock is the genre, inspired by a birthday massacre.
okay.
Um, mhm,
Well, would you like to put it on?
I would love to.
Okay,
I
let's
hope
hear
y'all
it.
enjoy. It'll be out, released later this
Oops, so sorry, I cut you off there.
day.
In the garden of grace.
Okay, sorry, I cut you off there, and I didn't mean to do that, Jess. Tell me a
Oh,
little bit more about the release that we're going to play in a second, the one that I hit too soon.
no worries, no worries. This is my latest song will be released later this month. You can find on the Spotify, on YouTube. Search Jess Floam, and it's alt rock song about cycles of abuse and being uncomfortably comfortable in life and wanting to break free from that. So it's called Day After Day.
Okay, now I'm excited to hear it. Let's put it on, Jess. Let's see if I can get it.
Swaying lights embrace. I'm the girl with the softness. The mask's a darker space. Eyes like bluebells. Petals brush with gold. But beneath the surface, the still water grows cold. Wrapped in silken whispers, my smile a tranquil limb. I'm the viper under the lily, concealing what's within. Sweetness in every step, a fragile kind of pace. But shadows loom close, darkness leaving its trace. Falling from grace, I feel the tempted scorn. A viper, royal, ready to transform. I see the ruin of use, but can't break away. Trapped in this cycle, day after day after day. Amidst the blossoms bloom with innocence consumed. Empathy overflows, leaving no more room. Eyes that deeply see, I want to shed this skin and flee. But the weight of expectation constricts and binds me. Falling from grace, I feel the tempted scorn. A viper, royal, ready to transform. I see the lumen of use, but can't break away. Trapped in this cycle, day after day after day. In this cold
You heard it first. That's the first time it's been airing. So
Uh-huh.
uh, I just wanted to give you a peek of our new song. That's really interesting. Where did you have it produced locally, Jess, or how did this tell
No.
the story of how it
So,
came to be?
mhm. I worked with a musician from Germany, actually. He goes
Mm,
by Digital Failure, and that's his online alias. And we've made a song, several songs before, actually. And one song we made together is on Spotify, on YouTube, is the song Are You Mine?
yeah,
So it's the song with the two swans coming out of the water. And it's a different vibe. It's very electronic meets rock in this sort of fusion.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I get that. I love it. It's a great
Mhm.
song. I'm going to have to hear it on Spotify so I can take it apart,
Mhm.
dissect it. But how did the idea come? So he produced it
Mhm.
online, and you
Mhm.
guys traded back and forth, and you
Mhm.
told him what you wanted, or he helped you co-write it, or how did that work?
Yeah, so it started out with we were sending back and forth. He had some ideas on the synthesizer and the guitar, and I had the lyrics that I had written out. And I was singing along to this. He had several different ideas in his mind, and we settled on one idea that we really liked and expanded on that idea, which you hear today.
Yeah.
And so it's using this metaphor of being this viper under the lily, this beautiful creature just waiting um, under so much pressure and just taking everything in, but finally emerging and really becoming their own. And that was inspired actually by a production that I was a part of, this audiobook production. I am a character in that. And she is
One of
this
your many
girl.
talents. One of your many talents. Which one?
I thank you. Yes. So besides, I do music, but as a vocalist, I also do voice acting for different animations, video games, audiobooks. So I love to use my voice and then my vocal expression in singing as well as in speaking. And so it was in this, it's called the Star Palace, and I'm a character, Shura, who she is a girl from Russia. And so I have a Russian accent, and she comes to America, and she had a really terrible past full of abuse from her family. And so she was very soft spoken, very sweet. But and she was always being led and controlled by her family. And so is this inspiration from this character who is this, as she is nicknamed, the viper under the lily, this beautiful, sweet thing
Oh,
who will
yes.
have a bite. And so she finally has the power in the end to use this bite and to
Oh,
shed that old skin and become herself truly free.
I love it. It's just great.
Mhm.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So I've asked Jess to have me sing a song in
Mhm.
French that's coming out after I finish the one that I'm working on now. And the one
Mhm.
I'm working on uh, is just I try to make it a little more older country because people are upset about some of the newer country out there. They say it's too far away from country music.
It's more
But
country pop, a lot
yeah,
of people say. Yeah.
so the next song is going to be totally different, and Jess and I are going to work on that, and hopefully she'll have time. I don't know. She's a busy girl now.
Ah, I would love to have time for this.
All right, thank
We'll
you.
do it.
Okay, great. So
Mhm.
let's get you on and let them hear you. Just play something and sing something that you'd like to share with us today.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I have two more of my original songs that I
Okay.
can share with you guys.
All right. I'm going to disappear, but I'm here. I can hear everything. You just can't see.
All right. I will sing this first song. I'll sing two originals for you here today. And these are songs that you may have heard on open mic nights. This first one is an acoustic song that I really love to share. Let's see. Okay. And it's based on Celtic mythology, on the Green Man, and this yearning for nature, yearning for stepping away from the hustle and bustle of society and go back to our roots, back to nature, as you are called back. And so the song is called King of May.
Sounds interesting, Jess.
Yes. And I worked together with Himji and Aflunters to make this song. The King of May. It's getting serious. I got to roll up the sleeves for this one.
There's an old voice shaking the leaves beneath the evening wind, calls me back into the gloaming shade. I tell him now it's not a misforgotten time. He sleeps begging me to step away. He says your dreams may beckon me, but by my reckoning, your eyes are wide awake for me, my dear. Lights out, shadows long, they reach for me in place. A cool embrace to keep me satisfied. I tell him time's gone away from meetings of our past. The hour is late and he must realize. He says your dreams may beckon me, but by my reckoning, your eyes are wide awake for me, my dear. No matter how fast or far I go, I'll always be the last to know. No matter how fast or far I go, I'll always be the last to know. I'll always be the last to know. I'll always be the last to know. The fireflies light the way, the night is cold and clear. The garden gate locks beneath my hand. Barefoot and broken, I step into the wood to meet the life that calls to me again. And I don't know what waits for me beyond the forest edge. I close my eyes and breathe again. You, no matter how fast or far I go, I'll always be the last to know. No matter how fast or far I go, I'll always be the last to know. I'll always be the last to know. as your dreams may beckon me. By my reckoning, your eyes are wide awake for me, my dear.
Oh, bravo. I loved it. Very Celtic. Absolutely. So we have about 5 minutes for the next song. And I'll get out of the picture here. So take it away, Jess.
All right. This next song is the very first song that I have sent out on all music platforms. So it's very near and dear to me. You can find on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube. This is my song, Chasing My Tomorrows. And I want to try with the instrumental as well. So let's see. Come in and get.
Jess, can you tune that instrument up a little?
Chasing my tomorrows, chasing my tomorrows. Chasing my tomorrows, chasing my tomorrows. Chasing my tomorrows, chasing my tomorrows. Every time I sigh, the world falls down. Gotta pick up the pieces somehow. The sky so high becomes my crown. Every time I cry, the clouds could drown. Gotta dive down deeper answers now. Chasing my tomorrows around. Are the waves I will fall right in, sink or be saved? Can I even win? Don't understand, but I need to go. Where will I land? How will I ever know? Every time I cry, the clouds could drown. Gotta pick up the pieces somehow. The sky so high becomes my crown. Every time I sigh, the world falls down. Gotta dive down deeper answers now. Chasing my tomorrows around. Running straight or serpentine. The journey long and solely mine. I know my path and where I've been. With one last gasp, I'll reach the end. Every time I sigh, the world falls down. Every time I cry, the clouds could drown. With one last gasp.
Bravo, Jess. Good job.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank
We
you.
got a couple of likes here. Kenneth, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so.
Hey,
Um,
Kenneth Rougeau
yeah.
from Quick Things.
Oh, you know him.
Glad to see
Okay.
you.
And my friend Rosie is listening, and I really appreciate all that. But now the question is, how do we find you to find your schedule and where you're going to be and what things you have coming up today, right now and in the future from starting from today?
Yes. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram or Discord or Twitter, or on my website. I will post my schedule on all these social media platforms. If it's a platform, I'm on it. So you can find me, Jess Floam, on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or you can find my online alias is Jest Bubbles. That's JEST Bubbles. Just Bubbles, no troubles. And you can find my website as well, which is it's the HTTPS. It's just JESTBU/BZ, which is a little cryptic, I know, but it's Just Bubs.
Okay.
But
Jess,
you can search Jess Floam on Google and you'll find all of those sources there.
Can you post these things that you're telling me? Can you post some of this on Matured Musicians? There's two parts to what I'm doing now. A lot of people don't know it, but I give the interview here on my business page because the only way they'll let me through on Facebook. And I do it on YouTube as well, so it can go international. I do have international people coming on from time to time. And it's the Matured Musicians group. You need to be a member, of course, to be interviewed, but it's your place to put your gigs. It's your place to tell us how to find you. It's your place to tell us when you have a new release. So, there are people who regularly post to it, and I encourage you, now that you've had the interview, to do so as well.
Awesome. I will do that.
right.
Thank you so much for letting me join this Matured Musicians community. And it's always such a pleasure to chat with you. And I'm so glad to meet you.
Well, we have some time yet. Oh, you're not letting you go yet. No. I want to know, since you began, everybody has this moment. I mean, we all have to go through some battles to get. You obviously started early, so you didn't have them. But for most of us, we have issues that we have to overcome in order to be the singer and musician we want to be. And in our journey, we've had good times and bad times, but sometimes there's that moment when you know for sure you're doing the right thing and that you're on the right track. So that's how I phrase, what was your best time in your journey? And then we'll follow it up with your worst time, if you have them. A lot of people don't have worst time. You're lucky.
All right. My best time, I think.
Your aha moment.
Yeah. And Yeah, okay. Well, this happened back in 2017. This was my last semester of university. I had the opportunity to study abroad. Well, I gave myself this opportunity mostly. I saved one last class and I was able to study in Thailand. I stayed in northern Thailand in Chiang Mai, and I participated in indigenous hill tribes field studies of these cultures in the surrounding areas. And we were able to visit a Hmong village one weekend. And it was incredible to see a little slice of their way of life and their culture. But one of my favorite memories was sharing a campfire late at night after a long day's hike and journey. They performed for us. They would dance in traditional Hmong attire and sing in the Hmong language. And afterwards, it was so beautiful to see this. They had asked us to share our own culture, and we were a bit taken aback by this. I mean, we were students, we were here learning so much and soaking so much of the culture and history that is not our own, that we weren't preparing for this or anything. But of course, this opportunity for a cultural exchange is priceless. And it's only fair we had taken so much that it is good to give. And so in that moment, as my classmates are all silent too, I'm like, I love to sing, but what do we sing? And on the spot, I thought, well, what's something me and my classmates know very well? And it sounds very silly to me and maybe to us in the Western culture, but what I know very well is this Disney princess songs. And there was something strange but sweet about singing these flashy, cartoonish, childish songs to us, but in such a beautiful and intimate event, singing Little Mermaid and Hercules and Lion King. Well, this was our culture that me and my classmates had grown up with. They're big musical influences of our lives. And what we think of as childish was a really beautiful piece of our own culture that they got to experience. And it was really great to see, well, we might be made fun of as adults singing these children's songs, but to the Hmong people who are not used to Disney or any of these classic children's tunes, they thought it was just beautiful songs, absolutely incredible songwriting and masterpieces. So while it wasn't very technically impressive for the average Western listener, this was something completely new, and it was heartfelt, and it was just this raw, intimate exchange of cultures, and it was songs we all knew very well. So it was just such a lovely moment that we had not expected, and
Yeah.
that was my favorite.
Well, I haven't had a whole lot of experience overseas. I did go to Germany when I was working on my thesis for my doctorate, but I would imagine, had I had the time and the money and I've been at the right place at the right time, I would have liked to, excuse me, do more of cultural exchange, because if you get the opportunity like you did to study other people and their cultures and their songs and their way of living, their philosophies, their religion, whatever, it broadens and expands your thinking about other people. And I'm glad you had that experience. I wish I would have been there with you. I wish I'd been like a little mouse in your pocket or something. So what are your goals? If you look, you have 5 years to look at the future. I may not, but at any rate,
Don't say these things.
if you could see 5 years down the road, what would you envision that you're doing or that you're heading towards? What goals are you setting for yourself?
I have been spending so much time inwards, singing other people's songs or practicing performing online. And right now is a time where I want to express outwards, and I want to get up on stages. I want to see that impact for myself, this feeling that I can help bring, that foster this environment of musical expression, of these emotions, of the human experience. And I want to feel it live, and I want to help bring such joy into the live musical sphere. And yeah, so I've always been a bird. I've always flown around everywhere. I love to see everything, but I'm at a point now where I want to stay put. I want to grow my roots, spread my roots, and I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. And rather than looking around, I want to be a part of a community. I want to share myself as this community. And so I'd like to make a bigger impact in this way. So get on stage and make some noise.
So I get a
That's my goal.
question about that one of those songs that I put out to give people an experience of what you do. And you were singing that song about being a woman. I don't know if you know which song
Yeah,
that was.
that's
And you were, yeah,
Portishead, Glory Box.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you were in costume and you were performing. I mean, you were really performing. You had it all. You had the whole package. Um, can you tell me a little bit about how that came about? Is that because of some of the acting things that you've done and whatever? Or you're on? Yes,
Yeah.
your answer.
Mhm. I've always loved to perform. In high school, I was voted class clown. I've never been a theater kid though. That's always surprising to people. I was always the band geek. I was having too much fun in the band circle and the music sphere that I never dove into theater until recently. I've actually just joined the community theater here in Wizard of
Oh,
Oz
oh,
performance. I will be the Scarecrow. So
oh,
look
God,
forward to this. Yeah, in late January,
I
we'll be
only had a
performing.
brain.
Yes. I don't have a brain, but I can get up and dance and shake this straw. So I want to bring that energy, that enthusiasm there. That's the Duval Community Theater. But I've always loved to perform. Being the oldest of four sisters, I always got us up to shenanigans. We plays and performances there. I've just always loved performing. I during COVID, when I was indoors all day long, I really got into streaming, performing there, streaming online on Twitch. I would stream, there's a karaoke game to play. I would stream different video games I would play, kind of melding my interests of playing video games where I would start out as a kid, my three little sisters on the couch, and I would play Legend of Zelda, and I would narrate all the different characters. My sisters were much smaller, so I would get into the voices of all these characters, playing everyone in this game, and my sisters would watch me, and it sort of transformed onto the screen, onto broadcasting, sharing me playing video games like I was on the couch still, but I'm on the world's couch.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I would perform there as the
One last
streamer.
thing,
Mhm.
not to interrupt you, but I'm running out of time here.
No worries.
One last question. What's worst time?
The worst time is probably I joined a competition. It was actually I had previously mentioned YouTube's Next Top Singer, and I joined a few years back, and I didn't have the chops I do now, and or the showmanship maybe either, but I wasn't just ready, and I had my ego bruised, and the judges didn't even comment on my song. I spent so many hours. I made this music video with my little brother too, and I put in so much effort. It was probably the biggest production I'd ever done at the time, and I didn't even get comments. I was just silently rejected, and I it was a bad place for me because I had never had experienced that before where they just didn't like me. And I mean, it's at this point now where I realize, there's just 3 random individuals on the internet, and everyone has their own tastes and
Yeah,
perspectives. But
yeah.
I thought, well, am I that bad? I didn't
Well,
even get the gratification of why I was that bad, So I was just
yeah,
always left wanting more, wanting to know what went wrong, and I was discouraged. It was healthy, I think, in the long run, because not everyone's you're not gonna please everybody.
no,
And
no.
but what's so great about this world is there's so many people out there. Someone's gonna love it, and that's the focus. The focus is
That's
on
a
there.
good parting comment, Jess. Well, it's time. It's already 1 minute and 57, counting
Mhm.
as seconds. But I've had a ball. I always do. I hope you'll come back and join us a little later on. When you're a little
Mhm.
further down the road and has some important things, you contact me anytime that you want to be on. I'll let you on. You're a very
Fantastic.
talented, beautiful, sexy young lady, or young, I should say young lady. And I know you're going to have a marvelous journey. So I'm glad you never listened. You shared something once about your mom. I hope you're not angry for me for repeating it, but uh, I don't believe she saw the talent that you have, and you've come so long. Obviously, she's up there, just so proud of you, wishing she could tell you.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
believe that as well. A absolute pleasure, Joy.
Thank you. Take care now. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
I'll be sending you the link too. Okay, here we go.
Fantastic.
All right, that's our show for today. Jess is an incredible young woman, a incredible woman, so talented, so just coming uh, out in the music world and hitting it and taking it by storm. Do look her up. Do stay tuned to what she's doing. I think you're going to see a lot of good things coming out of this girl. So next week I have another show. Not entirely sure if I have anybody. Let me take a real quick look here and see if I can find who might be coming on next week. So if you just bear with me a minute here. Oh yeah. Oh, he's told me how to pronounce his name, but I have a friend in Vancouver who is blind who now has a radio show, and he told me about his friend, and it's spelled Ljenneh. Forgive me, I can't pronounce it, but he will be on at 2 o'clock next Monday. I'm sure he has a very interesting story to tell. He's very, very talented. So if you can tune in, I will eventually post that radio station so you can listen to. I believe it's called Blind Country Music Station. So until then, you all have a really safe and good week. And I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Jess, you're amazing. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's get out of here. It always takes a minute